Oh my gosh, Sammy, what are we doing?
Everything.
Everything?
Literally doing everything. Look at the list here.
Look at the list of stuff we got on this mods on this Tank 300. Sammy literally just was like, I want to show my Milwaukee gun. Puts his Milwaukee gun there, look at that. So Sammy owns one of the biggest, latest Milwaukee guns. There you go, he's so proud. Are you proud, Sammy?
And this one.
And this one. So, what are we doing on this? We're doing brake controller. We're doing one of our plug and play tow bar harnesses. We're doing tow bar, upper control arms, drop links. What else? Mod plate on it for the GWM upgrade for the nitrogen suspension we're doing on it. A hoop bull bar. What else? Oh, yeah, the nitrogen suspension, electronic disconnect sway bar, underbody bash plates, winch isolator, a winch in there, upgraded LED headlights, performance air filter, rear dual mud guards, silicone hose upgrade, molded bonnet protector, weather shields, rock sliders, an armored rear bar with a tire carrier, front mount intercooler, a Manta performance exhaust because we're out of our exhausts, and a Savage Stage 1 Tank 300 ECU tune. So Sammy, I think you've got your work cut out for you, mate. How do you feel? Are you going to be able to get this job done?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Don't worry, you've got Oleg. He's over here holding the toolbox up, so you should be pretty good. So the intercooler's been removed. This is the oil cooler. Okay, we actually got these in stock. We've got an upgraded one. I'm surprised the customer's not doing that as well. We're doing new headlights and some new upgraded intercooler hoses as well to replace the factory ones. So getting rid of those crappy headlights, they're not very bright. These new ones are so bright, they're insane. They look sick, there are DRLs on them, they're really bright. High beam and low beam is super bright, so you don't even need a light bar. Gonna get the bull bar on. We've already ripped the factory bar off. Recovery points are ready to go on. This is your intercooler, so that's your upgraded intercooler there. So we're gonna get that on the vehicle too. Anyway, it's a fair bit of stuff, so we'll get this build on the way. We've had a few cancellations today. That's why, look, the workshop's empty for once because everyone's been flooded out because today's Monday morning. So there you go. Tank 300 build, let's go. So it's day 3 of the Tank 300 big build. So we've got our brake controller in it now. Got Nico finishing it up. He finally got out from his flooded home. Is that correct? He wants to live on the water in fancy Calypso Bay and gets flooded in. So brake controller's mounted under there. All right, so that's all linked up. Tow bar's on, rear bar we're gonna do on the next visit. Nitrogen suspension's in, airbags are in. So we're gonna do a GWM upgrade on this with a panhard rod and airbags, heavy duty springs. He's pulling through the brake controller wiring now. Oleg's finishing the front off. We've still got the oil cooler to put on here. Also got a Canon Alpha in. And we're doing the flat pack canopy on the Canon Alpha, Roland's job. Got Sammy playing around with the Tank 300 HEV bull bar over here. So the car's finished up. Sammy's quickly adjusting the front coilovers to make them a little bit higher because we haven't put the rear bar on it. So there's a bit of a rake between the front to rear, but there's going to be obviously the same wheels on the rear and our steel rear bar. So it'll be running our steel rear bar and our rear tire carrier pretty much like that bad boy right there in the video. All right, let's have a quick walk around. Sammy, do you want to quickly walk around and just tell me what you've done on the vehicle? All right, Sammy, what have we got?
Okay, so I put hoop bull bar on that.
Tank 300 hoop bull bar. Look at that. How sexy does that look?
With the new grill.
The new grill, and this customer's actually opted for the opposite color combo. So these grills come in white, orange, and black. However, he has gone, and gray, he's gone for a black grill on a white car, which I think looks pretty sick. And then he's taking my 20-inch gold rims to go with it. So the 22-inch light bar is included, all parking sensors. What winch did you put in there?
Carbon.
So carbon off-road winch. So show us how that works, Sammy. So you just pivot that out of the way, okay, and there's your winch under there. Okay, so he's done the winch. All right, so underneath you've got the full bash plates, all stainless steel, starting from here. So our bull bars are full powder coated, and then you've got your stainless steel bash plates starting from here, full bash plates underneath. Our bash plates have a rib through here, okay? There's a lot of other bash plates on the market that don't have reinforcement ribs, okay? What they do is they give it a bit more strengthening. So if you've just got a flat plate, even though you might think, oh, it's an extra mil thicker than ours, however, it doesn't have this big gusseting through here. So that there adds heaps of strength. It protects your gearbox, as you can see, and obviously your auto transmission. Okay, so we got the two-way nitrogen suspension. So how do you adjust that, Sammy? Show us that on the bottom leg there.
Right.
So that does your rebound.
Yep.
Okay. And then up there, you've got your compression adjustable.
Right here.
Okay, so compression adjustable. Obviously our upper control arms, as well as recovery points. So full rated recovery points integrated into the chassis rail, as you can see, as well as a electronic disconnect sway bar. So it's pretty cool. That's how it disconnects, okay? So you've got a switch in the cabin. So you want to keep as many wheels on the ground as possible. So when that wheel gets pushed up, you want that disconnected. So that'll allow this to push up. Otherwise it won't go up all the way. And the more this wheel can go up, the more that wheel will stay on the ground, okay? So as well as upgraded headlights. Our current rock sliders, we've got a new set of rock sliders coming. However, these are a full steel step, okay? And these are really strong. They mount to the chassis rail, as you can see. Okay, so they mount full to the chassis rail. So we've removed the factory headlights and we've replaced them with some upgraded ones. These things are insane. They're so much brighter. They look so much better. But the main thing is that the low beam and the high beam is super bright. They're equivalent to like a massive light bar on the front of your car. As well as we've got our panel filter, so upgraded panel filter in the car, stage 1 ECU remap. We've even made a custom bracket here. So if your wireless winch remote is not working, you've still got a wired solution, okay? So when you're off-roading, you unlock that, plug your winch controller into that, and you can use your winch. As well as, look at this, how cool is that? So full custom made for the Tank 300 and your cannons and stuff. This mounts on your battery bracket, okay? And it gives you a winch isolator as well as a fuse, okay? And obviously in the corner here, we've got the light bar relay box that's all integrated into the factory roof console switch. Sorry, what'd you say, Sammy? As well as the stage 1 tune, what do we do to the engine?
Iridium spark plugs as well.
So iridium spark plugs
And performance air filter.
and performance air filter. In the engine bay here, we've also got our upgraded silicon hoses, okay? And attached to that is the front mount intercooler, okay? So we've got the front mount intercooler behind the grille, and below it we've got the transmission cooler, so that'll keep it nice and cool when he's off-roading and towing. We've also done a GWM upgrade, and we've put airbags in the King Spring rear coils and a panhard rod, adjustable panhard rod, and that's where it currently is just at the moment for pumping up their rear airbags. However, this is a temporary solution because there's going to be a full rear bar and tire carrier going on here very shortly. So as well as our brake controller, so we've installed our brake controller here. Weather shields have also been installed. The splash guards are for when you're off-roading and there's normally a big gaping hole here. So what this does is covers the gaping hole, okay? So that you don't get all mud all inside here when you're off-roading, because that seals on that now. Otherwise that would be a big gaping hole. As well as the tow bar, we've also got sitting behind here above the suspension, a nice 3-inch exhaust system from the Cadillac converter back. So it should give it a good note with our stage 1 remap.